Today we are going to look at a review by Stephen F. Myler about some aspects of health that affects young people. Hello, I am your host for this talk. My name is Shiona again. Today we are going to talk about the difference between autism and Asperger's. First off, with autism, there are two types. There is high functioning and low functioning. The symptoms typically start before the age of 3. If you have these symptoms, it is called early onset autism. Some people say that if you don't catch it early, then it won't get better. This isn't true. But the earlier you can address some of these things, the easier it will be when you grow up. So even though you may not see improvement, you may see a leveling off of these symptoms. And that's a good thing. With Asperger's, you typically do not see these symptoms until you're older. It's not that they weren't there before, but they were hidden. Or maybe at the time they were just looked at as quirky or just a part of who you are. Now, what is the idea of the spectrum? Well, it refers to the fact that both autism and Asperger's can affect a person in many different ways and to varying degrees. For example, one person may have a hard time socially, but they are great at focusing on one specific thing, while another person may be great at social stuff, but they have no focus. Both of these people would fall on the spectrum, but in different places. Are there any autistic treatments? This is a very loaded question. When I was growing up, I was told that I needed to be fixed. This is also known as a cure. A lot of these cures are very outdated and just simply don't work. In fact, they can make things worse. Today, the treatment typically focuses on helping the person cope with everyday life. This may include things such as speech therapy, occupational therapy, behavioral therapy, and in some cases medication for anxiety or depression. Later onset Asperger's is something that is seen more often today because of increased awareness. It is possible to have symptoms later on in life due to an event such as a concussion, stroke, or other brain injury. It could also be genetic. We just don't know for sure. There are some people out there that think that both autism and Asperger's are made up. They believe that if you're diagnosed with one of these conditions, you're just a bad person. This couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is we're all special in our own way. This is why I like the term special people. No two people are alike. So what is the difference between autism and Asperger's? Well, for one, it's how you're affected socially. With autism, you may not understand social cues. You may not pick up on sarcasm or understand jokes. You may not make eye contact or have the desire to hang out with others. You may prefer to be alone. With Asperger's, you usually have a harder time with the social interaction. You may want to socialize, but you just don't know how. A lot of times people with Asperger's have a good sense of humor and can pick up on sarcasm and jokes. Is there a cure for Asperger's? Like I said before, there really is no cure for autism or Asperger's. However, there are some things that can make your life a little easier. These things will help you cope with everyday life. They won't necessarily fix you, but they might help you. Just remember, we're all special in our own way. What are some problems in the brain circuits? With both autism and Asperger's, we do know that there are physical differences in the brain. Researchers have found some differences in the way the brain processes information, especially in the area that controls social behavior and communication. They also have found some differences in connectivity, meaning that the different parts of the brain aren't always connected like they should be. In conclusion, what do we know today about these two conditions? Well, we know that they both fall on a spectrum. We know that each person is affected differently and to different degrees. We also know that there is no cure, but there is treatment available to help with everyday living. And finally, we know that each person is special in their own way. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new and stay awesome.